Prettiest field anywhere today. Look at that. '51 Ford 641 Power Master. And I think they might have had an issue with the transmission. I'm not sure. I gotta look into it, but $3,600. Oh, 57. Go back. Check it out. Okay. So we're back at all of our work again, and we were going to the farm store and saw this for sale on the side of the road. And I know we tore ours all apart. We repainted the running gears and decided not to build them out because of the price of lumber. This one's in a lot better condition as far as the lumber higher up. It's got real good beams underneath where we had some issues with ours. So I think I might paint this up a little bit today on the running gear parts of it. Maybe on the top, I don't know. I kind of like the weathered look of it. But $350, we thought it's good to have another wagon. We have the John Deere running gear sitting over there with the base timbers, just as far as making a flat wagon. And we're gonna start in on that at some point. We've been really watching the lumber prices. We shopped at Menards the other day, needed some deck boards, and ended up grabbing all of these out because they won't even put the prices on because they're changing them daily right now. Where we found when we were needing 2x4s in the winter for another project, they were changing them daily, but they had the prices up. Lowe's is basing it off the price they paid for the load. So there's not a variable situation. So if you're looking at lumber, look into those situations because it's real rough when they're trying to change the price daily and you're trying to plan a project. So for us, we've always got many projects in the works, and we're working on hay, but we're doing round baling this year. So if we get into a situation that a customer needs some square bales, we can load them up on this. Here's the new belt all in. Farther back one here, all replaced, $74. That's a few bales of hay to sell. So it's a new day on the farm with another parts run. He started out last night. He got one row down the sides, 2 rows up the front, and you know those belts I showed you? I took a couple of shots of those just to make sure in case the stickers were wrong or worn, and he lost a belt. And it was an original belt dated 1996. I think it was called a C83. So we called around, and of course there was only one available within lots of miles of us. Otherwise we would have to wait until maybe Monday. And we actually found the belt through Granger Supply for $24 less money through them. Yeah. Okay, we have to stay very back and stay safe, okay? This has so many moving parts. Will you take my hand? I want you to hold my hand. Thank you. So it looks like the hydraulic cylinder leaks a little bit up at the top, or the tank, which is probably why it didn't have any paint on it. So it was good that we did that, because if I'd have tried to done that after the fact, they weren't gonna stick. Yeah, see that PTO? We're just staying back. So right on this side in here, the inner belt, the hardest one to change, is what broke. And I think he said it was like total like 93 inches or 91 inches. It's a really long belt. So the hoses, everything was working good on it. we'll take some video and show him running it. But this is already, with the breakdown, he got what would taken him hours to do with a 6-foot sickle bar. So 14 feet is quite the advantage over that, because it's another, 2 1/3 rows wide. We're gonna sit here. I brought the kids. We're gonna have a picnic, aren't we? Yeah, it's nice to sit and watch Dad work. It's a nice breezy day. The hot heat's over. It's supposed to be like 77 today. So when they said they wanted to go for a picnic, I said this is a perfect opportunity to try to feed Dad before he takes off on the tractor. So we're gonna find a nice shady spot to sit.
Try that.
You can see how trimming up these trees can be helpful. This is yesterday. This is the sandy field. But you can see how much that cuts. I noticed that it cuts quite a bit shorter than the sickle bar mower. So that's good. And we're not in any kind of a drought right now, so even better. But this is, like this tallest grass here, that's about chest high. So some of it more than others. Averages about rib high. Yeah. The clover's blossoming. The alfalfa's starting to blossom in this field. This field is mostly grass. We were looking by the house on the way, and it is a lot of clover in blossom. Oh, it's just beautiful to be out here while he's working. So he said he's going to change direction now, I think, or he did change direction. He was cutting opposite so that he could have that swing out to his left side to get under the trees. And the good thing is, with every round, the field is getting smaller and taking less time than the round before it. There's some running around and hide and seek going on. Trey says, say it again.
It's twice as wide as the sickle bar mowers and faster because it doesn't plug.
That's right. And we had trouble with it plugging the first time we used it, and I think it was maybe the speed of the tractor and the bulkiness.
I think so.
Yeah, so I think originally he just said, we just don't have a tractor big enough to lift them. So they were talking about carrying it over here with the backhoe, like lifting the back end of it up, because it's, you know, real rough, bumpy gravel road with real bad chatter bumps. But did you end up driving it over this year?
Yes.
Okay.
We just lifted it up with the backhoe and it stayed up.
Oh, because
So-
the hydraulic pressure was able to keep it?
Yep.
Okay.
Has enough pressure to easily keep it up, but
Okay. Can keep it up, but it can't lift it. He said the oil on the back was an overflow outlet, like on a radiator. So he just kept adding more oil, thinking, is this ever going to get full? So he was just kind of guessing. And what did you guys end up putting in? You know, 5 gallon? I know he said something about a 5 gallon bucket full.
I guess about
Maybe
10
that's what he
gallons
had.
or so.
Yeah, so way off from the 50 gallon drum that he was thinking. But, you know, some people have wondered or asked, well, how come you didn't do this sooner? And with his job, I mean, he was easily working 80 to 120 hours a week. I mean, there was, you know, days that he didn't sleep, or he'd take a half hour, an hour nap and have to head out again, because with his work, he's delivering fuel to farms, job sites, construction sites and things. So we were the last on the list. Now, this is late in the year for us. It's like June 16th, I think, doing a first cutting, but there's been years where he didn't get to this field for our first cutting until August, because we had enough hay and he had more work to do with his job and didn't have time, where the last couple years we're reclaiming our own time and setting and keeping the work hours separate from the farm hours. And I think that's really important, you know, is that if you're going to work off the farm or have an additional, you know, source of income, it gets to be you bottom list yourself. And we're saying, you know, what we're doing here is priority, and with things changing in the last couple of years, we're freeing up the time, and it was the time of fixing this machine to do the repairs and hope that it's going to go. And then with the last couple of years, we spent so much downtime because of the sickle bars breaking and it getting harder to find those old parts, or being just so overpriced that you might as well buy something newer. And I think that's what John Deere is relying on, is that they just want to sell you something newer. So we have been expanding our implement branding, and you know, he loves his New Holland stack wagon. We picked up another New Holland stack wagon that we'll be adding into some videos soon. We have the New Holland hay chopper and the John Deere chopper, which was really good for doing hay last year once we got the bugs all worked out of that by getting that silage wagon. So this is the very beginning, first week of actually working on the hay, and I think it'll be a good year because we have so many options for us with square baling, round baling. We could even do custom baling, you know, based on the field, what it's going for, because like this is more grassy, it's real great for horses. We have others that are higher alfalfa, which are great for our cows, and you know, whatever else. The waterways are real grassy too. Well, we'll go back in a little bit. Okay. We're gonna hang out here and watch Dad for another revolution of him going through the field, and then we'll head back because our lunch picnic is over and we've got to get on to some other jobs today. So, got some Etsy shipments to make. Remember, if you're looking for any of our awesome vintage finds, follow that My Channel thing up at the top, and there's an Etsy link there. They haven't been showing up in the description lately, so I have to go back and do some editing there, but in the meantime, enjoy the video.